Jumbo, in this video we're going to learn how to save a macro enabled workbook, and the reason for that is because macros can also be malicious. Imagine someone doing a macro that deletes all the data, because there are many idle people in the world, and they can just create a macro that deletes everything, like selects a column or selects everything like this and deletes it. And remember, macros don't have an undo button, and if you've not been careful, you can have malicious software. But Excel has a way of checking if certain macro is malicious or not before you're able to either enable or disable. And the way to do that is ensuring that your macro workbook that macro enabled means a workbook that has macros in it. You need to save it in another file extension. The normal file extension for Excel is .xlsx, like this, .xlsx, but for a macro enabled book it's xslm. Okay, so it's also important to know that the icons are different. For .xslx is very different from the one that has the macro enabled workbook. Let's be practical and just save this workbook. So if I press Ctrl S, from here it asks me the following features cannot be saved in a macro free, like the VB project, like whatever we've added. If you want to continue as a macro free workbook, click yes. If not, click no. I'm going to click no, and it takes us to our files. I'm going to save this as main workbook. So you see it's faded out, but you see this is a normal workbook .xslx. That's a normal workbook, and the icon looks like this. If I save it, just click on save. It's going to be xlsm, macro enabled workbook. Let's see here, Excel macro enabled workbook. Change it to that and then click on save. It's going to save. Okay, if I click on Ctrl S or Ctrl Shift S to save a copy, you can see this is xlsm, and the icon is a bit different from this one. So this is macro enabled workbook, and this one is a macro free workbook. Okay, so that's how you save a macro enabled workbook. And just be careful, whenever you open a macro enabled workbook, it's going to ask you at the top bar here if you need to enable it or not. If you're sure about your working environment, you can just click on yes. If not sure, just click on no. Okay, see you in the next tutorial, where we are going to speak about using the PMT function and how to calculate mortgages. See you then. Bye bye.